Thank you. Alp was saying that curbing immigration is not getting rid of foreigners. All Alp wants is sort of measured, sensible immigration control. He said the population growth in 12 years' time is going to be unsustainable, and his real concern is integration and then democracy. So next we have Afshin Rattansi.
Sure.
I'll give you 8.5 minutes as well. So.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks to all the people at the University of York, Student Union. Strange debate to be having in 2014, I feel. I mean, that last speech reminded me of someone getting on the ladder and then taking away the ladder after going up the ladder. I mean, journalists always look at Wikipedia, don't they? So, Scottish king petitioned for the establishment in 1617 of the University of York. I suppose he's an immigrant, I suppose he's a foreigner. Also, lots of walls all around this city. Maybe that's why York Student Union feels the need to debate something that to me seems kind of obvious, albeit that, as my ally here did raise, there have been changes to this debate recently. Curbing, that word, very serious. It's obviously not curb your enthusiasm. This is an incredibly serious word, and the language of immigration is always incredibly emotive. I think we only have to look at the streets of Ukraine to see how emotive ideas of immigration can be, and the kind of catalysts they can foretell. Of course, I'm talking about fascism. Only 1.5% of Britain is developed. I think we need to go back to 18th century British ideas of enlightenment and progressive values. We want to fill that. Obviously Prince Charles, the Green Movement, they're important, but I'd like a bit more than 1.5% of this country developed in terms of land use. We now have 10% of people in this country born overseas. That's half of Canada, Australia, a lot lower than America. The original motion was enough is enough. We should be curbing immigration. Enough. I don't think there are never enough immigrants. There is no zero-sum game here. When Alp starts talking about we'd have to build schools and hospitals, and there isn't a finite amount of jobs, a finite amount of hospitals. We build new hospitals. We build new schools. We make new jobs. That's the whole point. Migration work. These people seem to think that all right, there's just this lump. I mean, it's just bizarre. It's like a kind of misunderstanding of what all of human civilization actually is. Immigrants, obviously, as we now know statistically, live in much more mixed areas than the white working classes of this country that take disproportionately more out of the exchequer. I'd be the last person to want to deport the white working class indigenous people who are born over generations from this country. But there is something interesting about the white working classes of this country. Not only do they go fight in foreign wars and all of this, they get told this rubbish from Migration Watch and the Daily Mail and so on, to divide and rule between the most vulnerable groups again and again. There are too many people, they're the ones taking your jobs, while the elites out there, and there's plenty of migration in the elites. You won't see any kind of racism at the tops of society. You'll see it right down there, suffering the austerity. And this is why these kinds of debates are coming up again. Dan was very right to say, I mean, I'm no great supporter of the Blair and Brown regimes, but they didn't really understand this amazing turnaround that in 2005, by a majority of 2-1, people favored the idea that anyone in the EU should be able to go wherever they like. There were only a few people putting up their hands to that. Now, it's a testament to something that we're changing our attitudes to that. We're saying, no, hang on a minute, we don't. And I think it's now, there's a majority of people that don't believe that people, certainly in this room, should be able to live where they like. That, of course, is to do with insecurity. And I think we have to recognize insecurity and how that has increased over the past 10 years, much more since the Lehman crash of 2008. It's that austerity, together with the xenophobia produced by people like this on the right. It's working. And there's something terrifying in Britain at the moment.
Point of information, Mr. Chairman. May I ask what it is that classes me, what you know about me that classes me as a xenophobe?
I think your comment about football players was enough to trigger the idea in my head that in 2014 to say, oh, Britain's a much more multicultural place, there are footballers.
Well, I didn't say
It doesn't make any sense to me, you know.
It makes
1066
sense
was the
to
normal.
people,
Well, yes,
yeah.
it could do. It doesn't make any sense to me. This is a country of immigrants. It always has been, always will be. This isn't suddenly happened with football players and cricketers. So, I think the point is now that, you know, controlled immigration, pointless. Also, the xenophobic quality of the debate there. Do you notice he said 400,000 people? That's quite a lot. We just want to curb it a little bit more than that. What is this 400,000? It's the scientific nature of this, allied to austerity, allied to a idea about integration. These are the kinds of words you hear in fascism. There's, you know, what is the 400,000th and one person, first person? What are you talking about? And let's hope that the 600,000 new homes you just mentioned and all of that has to be built, and we have many more immigrants, and we don't curb immigrants, and we have a booming economy because of all